Okay, so this is pretty much like my first official girlfriend. Cause I mean everybody's had like those like week long or 2 week long ones that I had like, what was it, my sophomore year of high school, and then I think I had one in like elementary school or something. But this was like the first real long-term girlfriend I ever had. And right off the bat, I mean I'm 16, hadn't kissed a girl or anything like that. Right off the bat, we jumped right into some naughty stuff. And let's just say pretty much every day I went to school, I had to bring a change of clothes. It was that intense. Also to the point where like the upperclassmen knew about me. They were like giving me high fives and stuff when they saw me walking around. I even had one of the seniors tell me, he was like, dude, out of everybody at the high school, you're the one getting the most. And it was pretty hilarious. Myself, I've never been one to keep quiet about things either. So it definitely didn't help that I would tell I'd tell the stories to my friends, and I just let everybody know. And the girl definitely wasn't too happy about that. But you know, sometimes you gotta be a storyteller. And the first time that I went to her house, I mean, we had been doing this stuff a lot, months and months. And so the first time we go to her house and her parents are there, and we're just hanging out, and the parents are literally, one is outside and one is in the other room, and we start doing stuff. We start just non-stop dry humping, and we're talking full on hardcore type stuff here. I mean, it's dry humping, but you're 16, so that's pretty hardcore, right? Not really, but we're going at it. We accomplish the mission, and we get done, and then we're just like cuddling, nothing inappropriate. And then her parents come in, they don't think anything of it, and we're watching TV, and by this point we were sort of separated. She was on like the other couch and I was on the middle couch, and she starts shooting me looks, and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't realize anything. I thought she was just giving me cute faces or something, but I guess she was like doing the lip bite and stuff or something. And it was my time to go, so my dad came out there, and the girlfriend at the time, let's just call her Sarah. I won't use her real name. Sarah was like, "We're screwed," and I was like, "What? Did they see what we were doing?" And she was like, "No, I think they saw like a face I was doing or something." I was like, "It's a face." So I leave, and then she starts texting me saying that her parents aren't ever gonna let us see each other again, and it was like, over a face? And in my mind, I'm like, guys, if this is how freaked out and how pissed off you guys would get out about a face, oh my goodness, if only they knew. So, me being the Romeo at the time, I wrote this long-ass, one-page apology letter to her parents saying stuff like, this was never gonna happen again, blah, 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 blah. And it worked at the time. And so we continued doing what we were doing whenever we'd go to the movies, whenever we would be at school. We were like rabbits, man. We were going crazy. And I mean, it went on for like 6 or 7 months. And finally get to the title of the story, you know. She had a swim meet, and I would go to them. And it was like one of the last swim meets. It was towards the end of the swim season or whatever. And I think it was like district championship, the championship they had at our school, and I went to it. And her parents were there, her grandparents were there, her brother was there. And I remember, like, the first time I was able to talk to her while she was, like, resting or whatever for her next swim or whatever. And, she was wearing, like, her stupid bathing suit. There's nothing sexy about a swimwear bathing suit because it covers everything. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I was horny as hell back then. Well, I've always been, but that's not the story. But yeah, so she like sits next to me and we're sort of off to the side, and then her family's on the left side, and I'm like, your boobs are looking good, you know. It was in a whisper, but I just sort of go for it. So she's got her big ass parka on, right? This is the most important part of the story. She's got a big parka and she had it covering her whole body, okay? And she was like, you can start feeling up on me. She gives me the go, and so I'm to the right of her. She's on the left side. And so I got my hand in there and I start going, you know? I start doing my thing. And then she like whispers in and she's like, you can go harder. So I'm like, okay. So like, I'm going harder on it now too. And once again, remember, we are in a public place at a school, and her parents and grandparents are to the left of us. The grandparents are like 3 feet, maybe 5 to 6 feet away. Parents are like 10 to 12 feet away. And I'm going at it. And then she does the third whisper and she's like, you can go under the bathing suit. So I'm like, okay. So I'm going. Nothing has been sighted. We're perfectly stealth because she's got the parka on, and it's all good. This would be a perfectly fine situation. We would be perfectly fine in this situation. But then Sarah had to make some moves on me. So she does her usual right hand into my pants, you know. So she's doing the, you know, doing the DJ work down there, and it's all good. You know, I'm still up there. It's still covered. However, you got to think of physics. You got to think of friction. As she's moving her arm to take me to Unicorn Town, the friction is causing her parka that was covering her perfectly while I was doing my business, makes the parka start falling down. And we don't notice this because you're in the heat of the moment, you know. Some fireworks are feeling like they're about to go off for both of us, you know. And you're just so in the zone. And as she's doing that, out of nowhere, we hear her mom say, "Hey!" And it's like, oh, fuck. And you realize that there's nothing covering her entire top body. Like, the entire top of her. So you just see my hand in her shirt. You can't see what's going on down there. Bullshit. And the mom, like, pulls her to the side and is like, oh boy, here we go. And then, so I'm just sitting there for like 2 or 3 minutes, just like, whew. Well, relationship had a good run. You know, it was fun while it lasted, but yeah, this thing's over. It's cool though. It was fun. And finally, after like maybe 5 minutes, the dad pulls me aside, and this dude was big. Like, let's not take this easy. I mean, he was a baseball coach. And he was the usual big bulky white guy, you know, the short hair, always wearing sunglasses and a hat. Baseball dad. That's how I would describe him. And he pulls me to the side. He looks me in the face, and he's right in my face too. He looks me dead in the eyes and he says, "Did I just see you touching my daughter?" And you know, a couple different things go through your mind in the moment, you know. One, do you lie to him? Do you just straight up say, no? What? I was trying to scratch my shoulder or something. Or I was just massaging your shoulder. Some stupid stuff like that. Or you just flat out say, I was touching your daughter. Yes, sir. You know? And I went with option number 2. I just flat out said, yes, I was. You know, there's no need to lie. You know, the cat's out the bag, and let's deal with it. And so he gets heated, and you can see the sweat dripping down his face, and the smoke, the imaginary smoke is becoming real smoke as it comes out of his ears. And he gets in my face and he says, if I ever see you touch my daughter again, I'll fucking knock your teeth in. And he is just right up in my face. And I thought he was gonna hit me. And he got ready, like it seemed like he was fisting ready to go. He's like, okay, you need to go. And I was like, oh my God, you know? And so I'm like still standing there, and he walks over, grabs my backpack. This is my favorite part of the story. I'll always remember this. No way I'll forget this part. He grabs my backpack, good 10-15 feet away, and he chucks it at me, and I caught it. And that's just my favorite part of the story, because while in the heat of the moment, to catch my backpack that was thrown so hard, so rough against me, and to catch it like a damn wide receiver, like an outfielder in baseball, and just catch my backpack while this dude is fuming, and I'm just sort of laughing in my head. There's just glory in that catch. But so after that, I thought I was clear. There's a little bit more of the story. I thought relationship was done. They had said if we did anything before, they were going to cut us off completely. And I mean, I don't want to say like I was happy about it, but like I understood. Yeah, like I understood that there's just no way this relationship's going to continue. The parents are going to hate me. They're never going to want us to be around each other. So it's over. And, you know, sometimes you just take the L. But that's not what happened. I go back to school and I talk to the girl, and she's like, my parents said we can continue dating, but only at school. So that's great and all. But like, once you've had the whole turkey dinner, and then you just get like a slice on the side there, it's not the same thing. So over like a period of like 1 to 2 weeks, I was like, man, this sucks. I thought I wasn't going to be the bad guy. I thought the parents were going to be the bad guy, and I'd be able to slip out, you know, pain-free in the sense of like looking like a douchebag. But that was not what was meant to be, because I had to break up with her. Because, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Just keep dating this girl at school, you know? I'm like, at that time, then I was 17, and, you know, a boy's got some needs, you know? Although, like, I didn't do anything with any girl for, like, years after. But at the time, you think, like, you can do whatever you want. And so I broke up with her, and she was not happy. Not at all. But what are you gonna do, you know? Once it was done, she made out with like 20 guys the next week, you know? Some of us deal with things in different ways, you know? I just got over it, you know? And held on to a great story. That's about it. And if there's one thing I can always tell you, bring an extra pair of underwear to school.